Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we are going to do a review for the Thrustmaster TX. I'm going to talk about the TMX as well. These are both Xbox racing wheels, as well as the T150, because these are the wheels that I've had experience with. And we're also going to talk about the newest entry model that Thrustmaster has. And that would be the T248. So I've been sim racing now for just almost exactly 3 years. Almost exactly 3 years is when I bought my first racing setup. The first one I bought was the Thrustmaster T150 for the PlayStation 5 or for the PlayStation 4. I bought that around the time that the Gran Turismo Sport came out. I actually bought that for that game. I bought that because, like, literally I could go and buy one off the shelf. And since then, so that was my first ever peripheral that I've ever bought for any console. So I was able to find that at my local Best Buy. So I was like, I was like most people, like stuck, trying to figure out how to do things on my own, trying to figure it out. That is the basic entry model that you can get on the Thrustmaster side. Well, no, there's actually another one. There's like the T80 or whatever. Do not buy that one. That one has no force feedback or nothing. So if you are at GameStop or something and you see that, it's a Ferrari branded model, kind of like the Ferrari branded model that I actually use now, but it's completely different. It comes in a way small box. It doesn't have it's just got bungee cords or bungee or some kind of bungee thing set up that kind of gives you a little bit of tension, but there's no actual force feedback in that model. So if you go to okay, so let's get back to this story. Okay, so the first the T150 was the first actual wheel setup that I bought. It worked great for Gran Turismo. Freaking superb. It was really fun. It was pretty easy to get set up, but I didn't have an actual cockpit like I have now. I've actually gotten myself a cockpit and got that all set up now, but I didn't have one. So the next step, it was finding a way to mount this thing so that I could actually use it. So at first, I trust me, I tried to find any and every way I could to get this set up so that I could actually use it. I went on Amazon and I got this little thing that kind of folds in half. It's like a little stand where you can mount the pedals to, and you can mount the wheel itself to. Well, the T150, you have just a little clamp thing that you twist a nut or that you twist a screw into, and it clamps it to a table. There's no actual mount holes in it, drilled mount holes so that you can mount it on something. So right there, that already adds that instability for this wheel. I mean, these things are great if you're going to set it on a desk, put it on a desk, use a monitor, get your little pedals, and make sure they're like literally right up against the wall so they don't slide out from under you. That's the best way to do it. So you're going to be like right next to it if you do go with like a T150 or the Thrustmaster TMX, which is the Xbox one. T150 is for the PlayStation, TMX is for the Xbox. I did buy the TMX as well because I needed one for both consoles. I have an Xbox and a PlayStation, so I had to buy two. So I ended up spending it was $200 for the TMX. And then I bought, it was like $200 for the Thrustmaster T150. So that right there was $400 for those. Then, the like table desk thing didn't work for me, and so I got the thing, that I can mount the pedals to the base and everything. And that was just no seat, no cockpit seat, just a little stand that kind of comes. It's got a little platform. It goes down. It's got the thing, like an adjustable 3 thing for the pedals. That was super uncomfortable, and trying to use that in like an office chair did not work. So I had to get a chair with a flat base. So I ended up buying a chair off of Amazon to try to do this. Now that did work. That did work out pretty well. It was okay at first, but I still I never exactly felt right. I didn't feel right. So I decided, I was like, you know what, man, because I was frustrated. I was playing these games, like Gran Turismo and other track racers are fine on the TMX and the T150. They're really good for those. They're not bad. They actually work pretty good. You can dial those in pretty good. Where my biggest problem was is because I like rally racing. So rally racing was really hard for me to get used to doing it on the TMX or the T150. It never felt completely right to me. It felt like I had just way too. It felt too. I didn't feel like I have enough like I had enough control. But now the funny thing is now I set my TX to a certain level for rally games that actually feels kind of loose like the other one, but it's better overall for me. For me, it's overall. So that is the basic TMX and T150. Those are your entry level. They do have force feedback. You cannot switch out the rims. With my TX, I actually got this rim with it. This is the Ferrari rim. It's kind of cool, but not necessarily. I mean, does not work good for rally. It's not a good rally wheel for me, in my opinion, because of the contour. So I ended up picking up this because on the TX you can swap them out. You can get your own different rims. I plan on getting a couple more. I just was kind of feeling like maybe I should just wait, and see if I'm going to upgrade my base at all, because now that you can get the TSXW, that's like the top of the line Xbox One you can get. So we're not going to really talk about that one, because that's kind of later down the road if I decide to pick that up or not. So basically, with the TMX and T150, those are basically entry level. But now there's a new entry level on the market, which is the T248. And those are the two we're really going to talk about. So let me just go back to one thing real quick. So with the TMX and the T150 and that stand, that was $500 that I'd already invested into this just to see if I liked it. $500, $500 wasted, completely wasted. So now I got the Thrustmaster TX, and I couldn't be happier with this wheel. So, but let me go ahead and review this one. So the TMX, you can usually find these in sets. There's a leather wheel one that sets you back about $500. The new T248 is going to come in at $399. I looked at that, and you will be able to get this on Xbox. This is why I decided to talk about this, because you will be able to get this on Xbox sometime in December, or we'll find out more in December or something, is what the tweet said. So the T248 is kind of interesting to me, because you don't get just like the little crappy pedals that I got with that TX model. That TX model, I got the set with two. I have since upgraded to the T3PA Pro pedals, which you can invert, which is freaking cool, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get those anymore. So, okay. I'm getting a little lost in here, but this is going to be kind of a long video. It's kind of fun. Like, this is, just kind of, how I started into this sim racing thing, and why it can feel daunting for anybody that just wants to get in and have fun and enjoy it. This review is for older people like myself. I'm not really like a super like know-it-all when it comes to all of this stuff. But that's why I'm doing this, is because those guys, when I would watch their videos, I was still just as stupid as I was prior to watching their videos. I did not understand exactly what they were talking about. And they're just showing me all these really super expensive things. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I'm going to be good at this stuff. Why do I want to spend $5,000 on a racing setup that I might not be able to actually use properly? Well, I'm pretty sure I could now. And I have learned that, yes, the more expensive the equipment, usually the better performance you're possibly going to get out of it. Is it going to make your lap times any faster? No, dude. The TMX versus the TX, my lap times have gotten better with my practice. Not because of because of the peripheral that I'm using. It's just gotten better because I've gotten better, because I've put more time into it, and I've focused, and I've learned more. So let's get into this review for the Thrustmaster TX. Now that we're already 10 freaking minutes into this, yeah. The Thrustmaster TX is basically the mid-range wheel for the Xbox. This is compatible with your PC, so if you need to use it on PC, you can. The reason why I would recommend the TX even over the T248 is simply customizability. You can customize this. You can get on Amazon and you can buy the base, usually about $210 for the base. That's with no wheel and no pedals. which is great, which is freaking great, because yeah, Thrustmaster does have the T3 PA pedals that come with the leather TX, but if you just get your own pedals, you can get the TCLM, which are the oh gosh, what's the name of that? They have a load brake on them, and they use magnetic sensors as opposed to potentiometers. I believe mine has potentiometers in it, my pedals. So as soon as these go out, I'm just going to get the TCLMs, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be on my way. But so the magnetic Holofax sensors, or whatever they're called, you know, they're basically indefinite. Like, they don't go out, they don't lose their spring, they don't lose any of that stuff. Whereas a potentiometer has electrical current going through it, and I mean, I work around potentiometers all day. They do go out. They do last a long time, but they do go out. I mean, the ones that, you know, with these right here, you're always on them, so they will potentially go out faster. But I've got just over 2 years on this, and I'm still doing good. I don't race every single day, but I do it enough that they're like, I mean, they're doing pretty good. They're pretty durable. But if you get the TCLM with the load brake, you can adjust the brake tension. You know, you can make it squishy, you can make it solid, you can make it harder. And race cars have pretty solid freaking brake pedals. So that's good to have with that. And if you buy that, see, now you can get now you're already at $400 with the base and the pedals. This here, honestly, this Ferrari GTE wheel was the cheapest I could find, which turned out to be about $130. So all in all, with the TX base, the T3 or the TCLM pedals with the load brake, and that wheel setup, you're $30 over what you would pay for the packaged in base standard T3 PA pedals, as well as the I know that I'm throwing all these names out at you, and it's probably getting a little confusing, just like I was getting confusing, but I'm going to explain this a little bit better here in just a couple minutes. So take a mental note for this. You get the GTE wheel rim, $130. You get the base, $210. Well, it's going to be $540, and then you get the TCLM pedals, which are the top of the line pedals that Thrustmaster has. Those have the Holofax magnetic sensors that basically you can use indefinitely, as well as steel construction or aluminum construction, and the load brake on them. The regular set that they give you, I don't believe it has a load brake on it. It's just they got some springs, some tension springs, and you could probably get the brake thing that I have. It's like a little rubber cone that goes in the back of it, and that you can adjust that to give you how much pressure or pushback you want on your brake pedal, which I do like that. But I'm really looking forward to these TCLM pedals when these ones go out. Like, I'm gonna get them, and if these last a lot longer, I'll probably end up getting them either way, because I do want to try those, and I'm definitely excited for that. Okay, so what we've went over already. Now let's kind of talk about the okay, so my TX setup, my Thrustmaster TX. I love this wheel. Like, it's great. It's been perfect for me. I don't need the biggest, best flashy wheel setup, but like I said, this thing is fully customizable. You can get shifters for this. I still haven't bought the shifter. The only reason I haven't bought the shifter is because I need to buy another part for my cockpit, and it's been out of stock, so I just haven't really went out. Actually, I haven't looked in a while, so it might be there. But you have to get like this. Like, this whole thing is like it's fully customizable. You can get new rims. There's F1 rims. You got rally rims. You've got just all kinds of different rims that you can get, and they're Sparco, everything. They're pretty nice. With my T3 PA Pro pedals, I actually bought some Sparco pedal set, you know, like that goes on a real car. Just kind of drilled out the holes, and I stuck them on there. It looks pretty cool. They're like all metal plated and everything. It looks really cool. They usually come with like some other metal plates, but I think these look way better, and they feel better on my feet. I do like that. But the TX wheel itself, the base, you know, and then you get the wheels. The base has more than enough force feedback for me. Like it feels good. Like it feels really, really good. In the T150 and the TMX, it would have like this little wobble when you would turn back and fast. It would just kind of feel like it would. Oh, there was just like this whole thing of nothing, and it took a minute to. And that's not with the TX. And that's mostly on the rally racing. On the rally racing, if you're like boom boom trying to turn real quick and stuff, like it really gets a little bit like, oh man, you just never feel like you can really. It never instilled enough confidence for me to actually push myself really hard. Whereas on the TX, I have no problem really trying to push it. I wreck a lot, but I really do try to push it more, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with it the more I play it. You're probably wondering, because I was talking about a lot of other stuff. For my cockpit, I got a play seat. I got the basic model. It's the play seat Evolution. It cost me $379. It was really easy to set up. The one thing that I don't like about it is the bar right in between your legs, because when you're driving, you're going to have your left brake on your brake. Your left foot on your brakes, and the other one on your right. And yeah, you're going to, and trust me, it just feels like you're playing with a controller, because you got boom, 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 right like that. So your mind automatically clicks in, and it starts to feel more like you're working a controller. Your feet are both right there. You're making these movements pretty quick. So I did try it with just my right foot, like I was driving a regular car. It doesn't work in racing games, not at all. It's way too hard. It's too frustrating, too irritating. You're just going way faster than you've ever been before. So you're probably wondering why I decided to review my Thrustmaster TX after 2 years. Well, it's 2 years old now, and it still works just great. Forza Horizon 5 just launched yesterday. I had the pleasure of playing that. I have played it on my wheel setup. This game is phenomenal on this wheel setup. And I'm telling you, if you are a racing fan, if you love racing games, and if racing games are like one of the things that you buy, I'm telling you, yes, find a way to invest in a driving setup. Like this, it literally takes that experience from feeling like a game to feeling like, wow, man, this is something cool, man. I can actually learn how to drive and how to really push it. And it feels good. At first, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. You're going to watch hundreds of videos trying to figure out how to set this thing up. And some people are like, oh man, I like a hard setting. That is the hardest way to drive. So this is what I want. This is when you buy it and you actually set it up. This is the one lesson I want you to remember. When you're sitting in your car and you're stopped and you turn the wheels, it turns hard. It's a lot of power. A lot of pushback. It takes you got to move your car. When you're moving, when you turn, it's pretty easy, right? It feels a lot easier to turn your wheels. You're going to want to mimic that feeling. So you're going to want to put your overall heaviness, probably put that at like 70, like the overall, just put that right at 70, put it right at 70, maybe even 50%, and learn from there. Don't do what I did and go for the hardest one, because it's not realistic. It doesn't feel right. It's going to wear at you. It's going to tire your arms out, and it's going to frustrate you, because you're going to have a hard time with it when you're going to try to turn and it's trying to pull you in other ways. They're not meant to feel like, it's meant to feel like a real car. If you're going fast in a real car, your steering wheel is going to feel pretty loose. Like, go get on the freeway, drive down the freeway, and tell me your steering wheel is like really, really heavy. It's not. So, now we're going to talk about the T248, which is the newest model. It is going to be available. It's already available on PlayStation 5. It will be available for the Xbox, I believe in December is what I'm hearing. Okay, so this one here is like the TMX and T150. You cannot change your rim. It's a basic rim, but this wheel does have presets. So you can preset for F1 racing, you can preset for track racing, and you can preset for rally racing, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like, I'm thinking like, oh man, maybe I will, because I need to buy one for my PlayStation. Either way, when Gran Turismo 7 comes out, I need to replace, I need to have one. So basically is what I was going to do, was I was just going to buy another base, the T300. It was like $210, so I was just going to get another one of those and then swap my stuff out all the time. But this is kind of intriguing to buy that, because either way I'm going to have to take my base off and put it on and off. So I'm actually thinking about picking that up. And if I do, I definitely will review it on here. But this one's supposed to have 70% more torque than the T150, which is pretty good because I believe mine is like 150 more or something like that. So mine's still way better, but not exactly. So I mean, it's basically is what I'm saying is you could pay $400 for that, which is going to be a pretty decent entry level. It's going to get rid of everything that I needed it to get rid of for rally racing, but at the same time, you're going to get your T3 PA pedals with it, and the setup, but you will not be able to do any customization for it. So if you don't like the rim that comes with it, you're stuck with that. That's why I honestly recommend going for the TX model if you can afford that. The TX model, you can buy it in pieces. You could buy your wheel, you could buy your base, you could buy your pedal set, and then you could buy your cockpit with the T248, which might be perfect for you if you just want a one and done thing. Just get in there and start playing. It is going to give you the power, the force feedback that you need to do pretty good at basically everything. And I would say that's a pretty decent entry wheel. The TX right now is on the market. The TMX is on the market right now, so you could buy either of those. You can get a TMX model with the T3 PA pedals as well as the T150, I believe. Those are going to run you right around $250 to $300 depending on where you find it at. I'm telling you that you can basically get into sim racing with I mean, the basic one that I would probably go for is the T248, the newest one that just came out. That's probably the one I would go for if you're just wanting to get into this fairly cheap as a hobby, as like a sometimes hobby. If you're really thinking about like trying to get better at sim racing, the TMX or even the TSXW, because you can buy that base now alone too, and I believe that one is like $300 for the base, $300 or $400 for the base. It's like $700 or $800 if you get the whole package, like the Sparko package, which is pretty cool. Like that was the one I was gonna get when I bought this TX, but I actually found that TX here in town. Like I was able to like go to a store and pick that up. I didn't have to wait for it to be delivered, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna take it home. I'm gonna try it. If it's not any better than the TMX, I'm gonna take it right back and just be done with it. And it turned out to be perfect, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick that up. Like I said, I've had it now for 2 years. It's been great, and I play rally race, I play F1 racing, I basically have bought in every single racing game that's come out except for NASCAR. Yes, I know I should probably play NASCAR, but I don't know. I'm not like a NASCAR type guy, so it works for all three of those. It works really good with the Assetto Corsa Competizione. It works freaking amazing. It feels so good with Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 4 is pretty good too, but Forza Horizon 5 just feels better this year. It feels a lot better, and that's why I'm bringing this up right now, is because, yeah, dude, Forza Horizon is pretty cool. You can start learning how to sim race by playing Forza Horizon, and get your all your learning done right there, because Forza Horizon 5 gives you a lot of options to adjust everything. And if you need something, go ahead and put something in the comments in here. I'll definitely get back to you and try to answer as many questions as you have. I'm definitely there, as much as I can to answer questions and stuff. But I'm telling you, man, if you get in there right now, why the iron's hot with Forza Horizon, and you get yourself a sim setup, yeah, you're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. It will be frustrating at first. It is gonna frustrate you. It's going to irritate you. It's going to drive you nuts, and there's going to be a lot of questions that you have, and there's a lot of videos out there on the internet right now that are going to do their best to answer them. But I mean, these guys are like so into like sim racing that it's like for them to try to remember like just little basic stuff, it's probably a little bit. They're pretty busy, man. They got a lot of people. I'm small enough channel that I can answer your questions and help put you in the right direction. So if anything you learned from this, don't waste your money on all the stupid stuff that is like either go for a mid-range or better, because I wasted $500 that I could have bought a much better sim rig. I could have if I would have had that $500, I could have spent $900 on my rig, on my sim rig. So, and that would have been a better, more stable cockpit. The play seat is pretty stable. It's pretty great. It gets the job done. It's not perfect. There's other models out there. Playseat was the only one that I could recognize with a name brand. There's Challenger, or not Challenger, but Next Level Racing. It makes good quality stuff. at basic entry levels. So there's tons of options out there for you. I think the most important thing is getting your wheel set up, and then finding out, deciding what type of cockpit you want. And the best thing about all this is you can get right on your Xbox, go to the store, flip over to the side, go to accessories, and down at the bottom you can buy all of this right from the Xbox store. Right from the Xbox store. So if you're worried about any of that, just order it from the Xbox store or Amazon. Amazon's got some really good deals on that stuff usually, but Xbox store, you're gonna get it, within a couple of days. With Amazon, you could get it possibly next day, or depending on your area or whatever. But yeah, so that's all I have to really say about this. Like I said, if you want more information, definitely put something in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, hit that like, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching all the way to the end if you made it.